This is Eagle Al, and today we will be talking about AJ Brown going off on the media. Stop putting him and Devontae Smith against each other. Also, Eagles actually signed a guy just before I shot this video. Gotta add him in. Nolan Smith injury concerns. Derek Barnett went out. Derek Barnett went out. But let's get straight into it. All right, so again, before we get straight into it, I gotta talk about the new signee. It's only right. Let's bring him up here, then get a chance to make the headline thing from. But my guy Isaiah Rodgers, actually like this signing a lot. Just give you a little history on him. He is suspended for a whole year, far as with the gambling thing. So the good thing is he's basically off the books. He's not technically on the roster. So you stash him for a year, develop, let him develop. I know he was really good on special teams for the Colts, if I'm not mistaken. And they felt like this year was going to be his breakout year, but unfortunately, suspended for a year. Colts released him. Hey, Eagles got him stashed. We see what he can do when his time come next year. But I think this is a very smart signing. Get him early. Let him appreciate that he's on the roster. And yeah, another smart move by Howie. Howie is cooking. This is a very, very smart move to stash a very good young talent like this on your roster. But now let's get into the news I had planned today. AJ Brown, man, I love everything AJ Brown said. I'm gonna go ahead and play the clip. Actually, before I even get my monologue, let me go ahead and play the clip.
Other really well, and like I said, that's another one.
AJ, do you feel like there is fans kind of picking Team AJ, Team Devontae? Do you sense that?
Not to even get into all that, but I sometimes you see it, and I have seen reporters just asking each of us questions, and I don't think you should do that. I think you should just enjoy both of us. It's not about me and Devontae. We're great together. We complement off each other really well, and like I said, that's another wide receiver one on the side of me, man. So I think everybody, the city of Philly or whoever, I think you should just appreciate both of us.
Loved everything he said. Loved everything he said. It's because what the media is pushing, definitely the Philly media is pretty sick, but I get it. You have to get clicks, you got to get views, you got to get people tuned in. Since AJ Brown arrived, we've been trying to push, or not we, but the media have been trying to push. Oh, is Devontae gonna do this? Oh, is Jalen Hurts gonna favor AJ because they best friends? To find out him and Devontae are good friends, Jalen and Devontae. Oh, who's going to have more yards? Who's going to have more receptions? It is good to say, and I guess in fun, like to make predictions. But what the media, definitely the Philly media is doing, it's like they're trying to add a divide in the locker room. This was the Philly media do, right? They would add the divide in the locker room. And then when the season go wrong, they were like, yeah, it was a divide in the locker room that they created or trying to create. So I don't understand why they're trying to create this divide between Devontae and AJ. I think it's pretty corny. I think it's whack. Like he said, they're two different receivers. I like that. Me personally, I like the big body wide receivers. A lot of people like the Swiss Army knife receivers, but they complement each other really, really well. AJ gave you one thing, Devontae gave you another. Like you said, just enjoying while they're here because anything can happen. Devontae could be demanding too much money when his contract come up, and we probably got to go get a new wide receiver. When AJ time come up, maybe he don't want to extend with Philly. Maybe he want to go somewhere else. But what we can say right now, while we have both of them, this is the greatest duo in Eagles history right now. So just enjoy the history. I look at it like when LeBron James, right? When he decides to retire, a lot of people bash him now, but when he decides to retire and hang it up, a lot of people's gonna miss LeBron James. But if you look at the media, bashing, 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 and our own local media is doing the somewhat the same thing to our receivers. And let's just enjoy the history right now that's being made. All right, so just appreciate them both. You never know what can happen, especially football being a business. Gotta enjoy them while they're here. All right, So let's get into this. Derek Barnett went out. Derek Barnett wants out. He feel like he might get buried in the depth chart. More than likely, that's going to happen when you got Josh Sweat, you got Hassan Reddick, you got a young Nolan Smith, Milton Williams, and then you got Derek Barnett, who might not even see any playing time, in my opinion. But he is a former first round pick. He won the opportunity to show what he got. My thing with Derek Barnett is it's not that he's untalented or he's just bad. He just costs the team so much with them penalties, them boneheaded penalties. Like we always say, it's always him, Barnett. Always him. And I do appreciate Barnett, everything he did in the Super Bowl. He got the famous fumble recovery. I can't say honestly if he don't get that, do we win the Super Bowl or not? But he put in his time. But since then, he's been a headache. Headache cause fights, penalties, which the fighting and toughness is cool, but when it's costing your team, is it worth it? The jumping off sides, the encroachments, I just can't take it anymore. And I'm pretty sure the Eagles are basically saying that we getting this guy, this guy, this guy. They're trying to bury him in the depth chart. So good luck to him. Also, I've been hearing this as well that Trey Sermon, he didn't show up to practice, and Greg Ward didn't show up to practice. So I believe Eagles looking for trade suitors with them. And I'm getting on track a little bit. I was trying to hold off on making this video because I'm thinking like more cuts or something might come out. Let me hold off a little bit. But I didn't see anything like earlier with the earlier cuts. So they might just get rid of the people they're going to get rid of Tuesday and try to make trades before they just cut them and let them go. So hopefully, they found some trade suitors for like the Greg Wards, because he deserves to be on the roster for sure. Derek Barnett, he deserves to at least be in the rotation, not be buried in somebody's depth chart. I got to be honest, he definitely do, but he just don't fit in Philly. Trey Sermon, just on our team, he doesn't fit, but he can definitely be at least a number 3 or a number 2 on another team. So I think the Eagles are doing a very good job, just at least trying to find trade suitors for these guys, see where they can fit and not cut. And I'm pretty sure they will have a job somewhere. Somewhere they have a job, man. All right. Shoot. Let's get into, I guess, the last topic of the day. Injury concerns, man. Injury concerns. Okay. So Hassan Reddick came back to practice. A lot of people coming back. The Mario Goodriches, Brent Covey, but Nolan Smith haven't been back. I know the Eagles, when it comes to injuries, we try not to push for guys to come back, try to make them as healthy as possible to the season start. But it is a bit concerning because it been since that Browns week 2 preseason, since we seen any of Nolan Smith. It make you want to raise a brow, not even limited. It make you want to like it raise an eyebrow. Like, is he really okay? Is he really good? Because again, Hassan Reddick, broke his thumb or something. He's back. I'm surprised more about that than Nolan Smith being out because I'm like, maybe they just hold Hassan Reddick out all the way to the season start the next 2 weeks, but he's out there practicing. And when you don't see Nolan Smith and you see a guy like that practicing, like maybe that shoulder injury might be serious and the Eagles don't want to disclose it. Just like the Jalen Hurts shoulder thing, to find out during his interview, he thought he broke his collarbone. So it was probably a bad strain. Again, man, I don't know. I simply don't know, man. I'm a bit concerned. I'm like 70-30 concerned. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I'm like 70-30 concerned. A lot of people's coming back, and Nolan Smith has not come back yet. Maybe he be ready week 1, maybe not. Oh man, I don't want him to have that, the case of the injury bug already. But more than likely he will be ready. But I am concerned. Not gonna lie to y'all. I am definitely concerned after seeing Hassan Reddick back at practice. If Hassan Reddick was out Brent Covey and stuff was still out. I'm like, okay, these guys are still out, so maybe the Eagles are being very cautious. But those guys coming back and no Nolan Smith, you gotta question it just a little bit, just a little bit. But hey, man, what do you think and how do you feel about the news today? We gotta appreciate the AJ Browns and the Devontae Smiths. We just have to appreciate everything they are doing. Enjoy the history. Shoot, Isaiah Rodgers. How do we feel about that? Don't count against the roster or anything. Just a stash for the Eagles. Injury concerns with Nolan Smith and Barnett winning out. But this is Eagle Owl, man. I'm out.